Foils here with GameSpot. I'm standing with Rue here at the Order 1886. Now, there have been so many zombie games that when we first saw this, we're like, yes, a werewolf game. Is that what we're seeing? Are these werewolves? What are these creatures?
Yes, they are. What we actually showed on Monday at the press conference was the reveal of the half-breeds, the werewolves, the lycans, basically, in our game.
So talk about these half-breeds. What are they? How did they come to be?
So the premise of the IP itself is that a long time ago, hundreds of years ago, the humanity changes, evolves in a different direction. A part of humanity splits and genetically become different, and they develop traits that are not necessarily wolf traits or other traits, but they're equated visually to being werewolves. So the first time people see these evolved humans, people equate it to what they've heard about werewolves in their myths and legends, and they go, "Wow, that must be a werewolf," and that's how the name comes to be. It's not really because they are man-wolf, mixes.
So talk a little bit about the setting and the time period of this.
So the game is set in Victorian era London, post-industrial revolution London. The thing about it is that it was a great place to actually use as kind of a foundation to set the story. That world, that London of that time, 1886, was literally the center of the world. We used a lot of real-world events, real-world people in there. You'll be able to see that in the game. And the reason why we did that is because we wanted people to have attachment to what they would see, not just play a game, but play a game in a world that we know already.
It feels like it could have actually happened.
Exactly.
Let's talk a little bit about the characters. Are you stuck playing one character? Can you choose?
The game is really seen through the eyes of Galahad, Sir Galahad, and the story actually is really seen through his actions and the events that happen in the game. So yes, it is a single-player game, and it's a third-person action shooter. But what's interesting about it is that the cast in the game will come in and out very, very often. We didn't build a game with like just 2 or 3 main characters. What you'll see in the game that there is a plethora of characters that are going to come in and out of the story.
So I'm not sure, how in depth you can go, but this Sir Galahad, what's his deal? Like, why is he the guy who has to go get rid of these things?
Well, he's part of an order, and that's the name of the game, the Order 1886. This order has existed for a long, long time, for centuries as a matter of fact. It was built out of the Knights of the Round Table, when Arthur basically brought the best of the best together to fight what they felt was the evil in the world, which was the half-breeds. So we twisted the Arthurian legend a little bit for our own purposes, and Galahad is one of these knights. But the interesting thing about these guys is that they're human, but they're not really, because they've lived longer than regular human beings. They have this elixir called the Black Water that gives them longevity, and they've lived for multiple lifetimes, seeing their loved ones die and all that. So these are battle-worn, cursed soldiers, really.
He's seen some stuff. So the other cast members that he's going to be working with, can you talk a little bit about how he does work with them and their powers, their moves, their classes, how that all works?
So the main squad is composed of 4 people. Galahad, of course, is the main one. The squad leader is Sir Percival, Sebastian Mallory. There's another knight called Lady Igraine. Her real name is Isabeau d'Argyle, and we have another character, 4th character called, who's the Marquis of Lafayette. The Marquis de Lafayette is the actual real Marquis de Lafayette from our world that we've again used for our own ppurposes. The interesting thing about their dynamic is that each of them brings a different layer, whether it's a little lightheartedness. One of them actually is very much closer to the main character. So as player characters, as game characters, they do the same thing. They're all knights, right? And they use different weapons. But really, they're there to further the story and actually to reveal this whole this IP to the player.
Awesome. Very stoked for this game. Thank you so much. All right, Twitterverse, tell me what you think. Tweet me at LisaFoils. Use the hashtag GameSpotE3. Tell me what you think about the Order 1886 here at E3.